Well, good evening, challengers and potential challengers to this video of ours today. I've got my very special guest, Krista, here with me. And Krista came to me with last year's 20-week challenge. And out of all the people I interviewed on day one, I honestly thought Krista was going to maybe not make it through the challenge, but she seemed pretty damn determined to do so. And I think I remember, Krista, my closing comment was, if you keep going on the way that you're going, Krista, you may not make it into your 50s even. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was a comment based on not being rude or anything, but I think let's talk about your lifestyle as it was. Um, Maybe give the people a little bit of an insight of to your that lifestyle that you were leading and what led you to the 20-week challenge.
Yeah, so I unfortunately was starting to gain a lot of weight. I had the surprise of hitting perimenopause in my early 30s. I was drinking a lot of Red Bull and eating all the wrong things. And mental health was really, really bad at the same time too. And I would agree with you. I didn't know if I would actually make it through the challenge. But even as of week 2, I think I had done everything that you'd said to do, and it changed dramatically. For me, with my health, I actually started losing teeth. And I'd been on antibiotics for a good 3 years, almost nonstop. And yeah, it something needed to change. And
Yeah.
I seen your challenge and I've seen all your lives, and I'm like, I need to be part of that. And yeah, it worked out to be the best life-changing thing in my life.
Yeah. So can I maybe ask the question too, during that time before the challenge, you were under a lot of stress. You do look after other people. And like most mums or people that look after other people in general, they don't tend to spend time putting their own gas mask on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I
Mm.
totally agree with that. And yeah, I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't planning meals. I wasn't doing a lot to give that into myself. And which was where I really needed to focus on dramatically. Otherwise, yeah, as you say, I probably wouldn't have made it to my 50s. And yeah, it's that's quite scary.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the challenge from the very beginning. What did you find? Because for all of you who don't know, with the challenge, we change some good habits for bad habits. So let's talk about some of the bad habits that you managed to drop. One of them was drinking how many Red Bulls a day?
Uh, More than I'd like to admit, but probably at least 3, if not
Yep.
more a day.
Is that with coffee as well? Did you
Yeah,
drink
and
coffee?
yeah, and with coffee too. Yeah, which was really bad. And also, yeah, doom scrolling in the morning instead of getting up and moving. I think that was one of the biggest things I wanted to try and change was instead of doing that when I first woke up, just jump up and get moving,
Hmm.
which was huge. I wasn't drinking a lot of water,
Yep.
and that's definitely dramatically changed
Sleep.
and made such a huge difference. But also not eating properly,
Mm.
at all.
Sleep.
Skipping. Oh yeah, and sleep was all over the shop, like
Hmm.
completely. There was nights where I wasn't sleeping at all.
Yep. And
Yeah.
let's talk about your nutrition or lack thereof. What was an average day for you food wise?
So in the morning, probably no breakfast. Um, I was going to KFC drive-through on the way home for dinner. Honestly, really eating junk.
Yeah.
Uber Eats pretty much almost sometimes 3 meals a day.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty bad actually.
Mhm.
And it's actually kind of a little bit uncomfortable to think about that now that where I'm at now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So for the challengers and potential challengers, Krista had done a 20-week challenge from July through to December. And then we kicked her off in January as the winner of the challenge, as in not really a winner, but someone who was what I'd called the dark horse and had made it through. And we'll talk about the successes that you had. But you continued again on another 20-week challenge, which finished this July, and we started working on the baby steps towards using the gym or doing a gym at home. How's that been going for you? And
Oh, it's
how?
been going awesome actually. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been really good. I want to do more. Like I'm kind of in a little bit of a transition stage at the moment of knowing where to take it.
Yeah.
But I think the stronger I got and the more I felt that, the more I want to kind of go further.
Yeah. So let's talk about the starting block, where most people were challenged. Did you drink alcohol before?
No, no, I've never really been a big drinker, I have to
That's
admit, in
good.
that respect.
So we didn't have to give that up. So the first month we started everybody off on just a walking program. Were you amazed at the results you got the first couple
Oh,
of weeks?
absolutely. Like even within the first few weeks, not only with obviously the results on the scale, because that was more of the byproduct of what your program is all about.
Yep.
But just how much better my body was feeling. I now, if I don't move, I feel a lot more sore within myself. But energy wise and just the way I'm feeling mentally, it's been huge. Yeah, it's kind of addictive, I have to admit.
So we start with the lucky sevens and we talk about walking every day and how important it is. I don't think people realize if they're prepared to do a challenge that that is the be all and end all. If you can start walking every single day and do that for the rest of your life, you will maintain your body fat levels. You will
Yeah,
feel better because you've seen sunlight and fresh air. Your,
absolutely.
your mental health improves somewhat because what did you used to think about when you started walking? So obviously you're not scrolling through Facebook now. So what's the
Yeah.
difference between laying in bed, not feeling good about yourself, in the dark, scrolling through life's bullshit?
Yeah.
And what was going through your mind when you started walking every morning?
It actually gives you that little bit of peck in your step.
Mm,
Because I think once you start doom scrolling, you do kind of take in what you're reading, you do take in all the things that we do when we're going through social media. And it just made my day so much better. I was ready to kind of get back out there and actually start a day rather than lying there for 45 minutes on my phone.
mhm.
Um, and then dreading having to get up, dreading having to shower. It gives you, yeah, that pep
Yeah.
to really get up. And I'd purchased a treadmill just before the challenge just to be prepared.
Mhm.
And yeah, jumping on that treadmill every morning for 20 minutes was, yeah, that was the
Yeah.
best thing I could have done for myself to start.
Yeah. So for an investment, I've got another client which might be coming on board. He's the same. I said, if you cannot get to a gym, instead of buying a gym membership, get yourself a treadmill,
Yeah.
because we all know how hard it is to get up on those wintry mornings, isn't
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been doing it very much as a past, but
it?
I've still been doing walks through the day. But that
Yeah.
treadmill was my like that changed everything for me. And
Mhm.
really, like, I didn't have to do anything beforehand. I could roll out of bed and get straight on it, and it
Yeah.
makes such a difference to get started. And I'm pretty sure it was within the first 3 weeks of the challenge was when I actually stepped outside and started
Mhm.
walking and doing, yeah, the nature walks, which has, yeah, become quite a daily occurrence in my life now.
So you dropped a massive bad habit and you picked up a massive good one, and it did take over several weeks to get yourself into that routine, as we
Yeah.
know, and we take, 28 days to break a habit and pick up a new one. Let's talk about the food. Now, I know that in your life, you didn't really have a lot of influences in the kitchen, and it was quite difficult at the start, wasn't it? Because
Oh,
food
very.
prep,
Yeah,
food
yeah.
prep can be quite daunting to people who have never done it before.
Yes.
And talk me through that and how much the enjoyment that you did get out of it, because there was
So
lots
yeah,
of
so loving my kitchen,
SMSs.
which
Yeah,
is
no.
something I've never done before. I mean, and I won't lie, cooking really isn't my thing. But I went and I order 10 meals a week now. But my breakfast prep, I'm still doing that now. Still doing your old oats recipe that you gave me. I've tweaked it, a few times and with like
Awesome.
different flavors of protein powder, which makes a bit of a difference and changes
Yes.
it up.
Yes.
But the prepping food and being organized in my kitchen has been huge. Like I bought a NutriBullet. I've had to buy all new stuff for my kitchen because I didn't have it.
Mhm.
But that all got exciting as well. And that kind
Mm.
of, kept the excitement going in the kitchen too. So
Yeah. So for
yeah.
people that don't know, there's a lot of people in the challenge that were very time poor, and a lot of people believe that they don't have time. But when you realize, how much time did you save when you
Oh,
actually were prepared every
yeah, oh,
week?
massively. And
Mm,
if I'm not prepared, it makes such a difference. I like the week just doesn't run smoothly at all. So
mm,
I now allow either not even an hour on a Sunday.
mhm,
Most of the time it doesn't probably take me that long.
mhm,
Just to do my breakfast, my snacks, like boil some eggs,
mhm,
just make sure everything's prepared for the week, do my food order for my meals. And it makes life so much less stressful.
Yeah.
It really does. And you don't have to think about it as well,
That's
which I
correct.
think we all spend so much time thinking about food and thinking
Mm.
about what we're going to eat. And I think if you don't be prepared, you're going to go for those bad options, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's correct. And for someone who started eating more than you ate before, were you worried that you were going to put on weight?
Oh, very much so. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. And even now that I'm trying to maintain my weight, yeah, I still am a little bit cautious of it. And but yeah, I was very shocked to know that eating more actually did make me lose weight.
Absolutely.
Of all the better things to eat as well. So
That's correct, nutrition wise. So,
absolutely.
yeah, Jen from Nourished Harvest, she is the lady that we use. And for those of you who are interested in having food made for you, Jen has set up a 20-week challenge section, and she's great to deal with. The meals are amazing. So you get
Yeah.
lunches and dinners, yeah? So they
She
come
is
through.
actually, yes, I do. She is actually not operating at this present moment though.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. There was
Well,
Yeah, I unfortunately when I had COVID, everything kind of went
out
pear-shaped
south.
in the way. Yeah, so I've had to find a car. I haven't really found like I'm trialing a few places at the moment, but no, she was
Cool.
amazing and her food is so good. So when she does jump back in, I'm pretty sure she said after 6 months. Well,
Awesome.
that's it's on her Facebook page. So
Yeah, cool,
but
cool.
yeah, if she's back in there, definitely recommend Jen. She's beautiful and like the messages back and forth if we needed it. She's been really fantastic.
Yeah.
And her food, oh my gosh, I'm so
Food's
missing it.
amazing.
I really
Yeah, I
am.
bet you are. So there's a lot of food places out there, guys. If you're interested in getting food companies to make your food for you, it's
Yeah.
very well worth it. Or pay someone to do it for you, pay a family member, because this year we're going to be organising food programs for everybody and making sure that we give you caloric deficits. What was that like for you having to put a bit of thought into, what am I putting in my mouth and how much?
Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest things to take on, and
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I really am. But I'm still using my Fitness Pal app and trying to keep on top of it and keep going with it.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference when it comes down to knowing what you're putting in, as
Mm.
well as knowing what to put out, like in movement and things like that for me now.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a bit daunting at first, but so easy at the same
Yep.
time.
Yep, absolutely. I'd like to share the fact that you did keep a diary. So let's talk about the diary before I get into your results. How important was it that we taught you how to put things into a diary and log things in? How important has that you been at the beginning, but also
Yeah.
looking back at it now?
Yeah, I think it's really important to it keeps you on top of it. It keeps you in check with yourself. And also to look back sometimes is also a good thing. But it's kept my routine and kept everything logged, which is an awesome thing to do because sometimes you don't really know just where you're at or just where you're going.
Yeah.
And it's been good to be able to do that. And I'm really actually enjoying it. It makes
Oh,
such a
good.
difference when you're kind of in check with yourself.
Yep, yep. And you did a wish board. How's that wish board coming on?
Yeah, really, really good. And about to do maybe another one
Oh,
with
awesome.
Nikki in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
And I think that's been awesome too to kind of go back and look at that and know that I'm either on par or getting to where I want to go. And
Yeah,
yeah, things are looking really nice in
amazing.
that situation. And I honestly didn't feel that before doing this challenge
Yeah.
for getting healthy. Couldn't see that light, I guess you could say.
Yep. You're looking great.
No,
You look
thank you.
happier. You look healthier. You have a glow. Your skin looks great. Your hair looks great. Your eyes
Yeah,
look great. Teeth look great. You've been having some work
yeah,
on
thank
those as
you.
well. It's been a massive, massive transformation for you, hasn't it?
It's been huge. Yeah, absolutely. And something I needed though. It's
Hmm.
honestly saved my life. It has.
Yep. And I
Um,
reckon it's taken about 10 years off your life.
yeah, yes, hopefully. And also to be that example for everyone else. I think I've seen too many of my family members go downhill.
Mhm.
And when you look back at where they were at, it was definitely a lot of relation to food and nutrition and what they put in their bodies.
Mhm.
I want to be that change, and I am
Mhm.
being that change. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so good to hear. Your attitude is also completely different.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
so
and
proud of you.
thank you. I really appreciate that. And I really
Mm,
appreciate you noticing that as well. You've been a
mm,
massive part of it.
mm,
So
mm. I think the most important thing we need to learn, everybody, is Krista had this drive, and out of 53 down to 33, down to about 12 people, you're the one that made it through. And every time I've done a challenge, there's always been a dark horse. But
yeah.
I'd like to increase it to at least 6 dark horses.
Yes, everyone can do it. You really can if you put your mind to it. And yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you won't regret it. I can promise that.
Exactly. So let's go through some of the changes that we had. What was your weight when you started?
98 kilos.
98 kilos. And what have you weighed in last week?
76.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
So that is massive.
Yeah.
That is a massive weight loss right there.
Yeah.
And the size changes, doesn't it? We got rid of most of the body fat first probably 3 or 4 months by your walking program.
Yeah.
And losing weight by eating more food, speeding up your metabolism.
Yeah.
Looking at the measurements, we're saying here you lost 4 centimeters on your neck, 6 centimeters on your chest, 3 centimeters on biceps. Sorry, that's my alarm going off there.
Right.
6 centimeters around the waist and 12 centimeters around the hips. 5 centimeters around the thigh and 4 centimeters. That's a massive change.
I was so shocked. I really was.
Because when you're looking in the mirror, you don't think of it, do you? It doesn't look like that.
No, not at all. No, I think when I did those measurements, I had to do that waist one like a few times. I couldn't believe what I was actually doing. Yeah, to know that, I mean, so this is the second time through. So I did lose the bulk of the weight the first challenge round. And so even though I only went down 4 kilo on the scale, which was where I wanted to be, that was I actually, when I set out to do this challenge, I only wanted to get down to 85.
Yep.
And that was because of personal reasons.
Yes.
Mainly so I don't look like I've lost teeth. But everything else has just come with it. And then doing some strength training. That strength training is what lost that hips massively.
So women, what you don't understand is the way that we lose weight in a challenge is we can get skinny fat by doing running, too much cardio, which people believe that they're going to get skinny from doing that. What we've actually done is we started a walking program with Krista. We started getting to eat regular small meals, staying under her caloric deficit, increasing her walking, and then at the 20-week mark, we started her on a small, very small exercise program. Yeah. And we start everyone always very, very minimal because you have to increase gradually. You don't want to kick off really hard. And ladies and gentlemen, that is when the body starts to change shape. The scales may represent the same weight, give or take a kilo or two up and down, especially for women. But then the waist starts to come in. Yeah. Let's talk about the clothing and the wardrobe changes. What size were you? And
so it was 18 to 20.
Yep.
And now down to 12 to 14.
Wow.
Yeah. And like medium in pants, which I've never been that at all. Like, so that's really exciting. And I've been smaller than what I am now, and it's still around my hips and my thighs and legs, unfortunately, didn't kind of come down with it. But no, it's been huge. And every time I put something on that I was wearing back then, they're way too big. So yeah, that's exciting. I had actually thrown away a lot of clothes at the size I am now, which in some ways I'm regretting, but it's nice to be able to top up the wardrobe. But I was shopping in my own wardrobe. There, I'm so glad that I didn't throw heaps. Actually, even this jumper in particular, I couldn't fit into that this time last year. So yeah, it's exciting. It makes things that much more deserving at the same time.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's a 12-month thing that is consistent, and it doesn't take overnight. The 20 weeks is a good gauge to see whether or not you want to take it further. And the great thing about you was that you approached me and you wanted to keep going. You didn't want to shy, go, 20 weeks, I can drink, I can eat chocolate. Yeah, no. Like it was one of those things where you were so excited about going to that next level. And that's a mind thing. You know, you have to want it bad enough, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think 20 weeks is good though, as well, to get you set, I guess, if that makes sense, you know, and if there are weeks that you aren't getting what you want, it's time to change or readjust and things like that. And yeah, I think even at the end of every 20 weeks, I'm just like, no, I want more now. Because it's and I think if you do those little things every day to change things, it comes a lifestyle. It really does.
Yeah. And that's the key, isn't it? Lifestyle changes.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we learn is the way we change our dialogue in our heads, the way that we change our mindset towards things and turn things into positive. The way that we look at the whole challenge as a whole and go, like, I want to finish this. I want I want the result in the end, but also setting the goal. How important is it to set those mini goals?
Oh, it's very important.
Mm.
I think because then that like gives you something to look at or look towards, should I say?
Yeah.
And it keeps you in check of knowing where you're going and having those. I think the best thing about your challenges is being 20 weeks is that you do have that chance to, 20 weeks seems like a long time. It goes very, very quick. But if you have an end goal and you're working towards it every day,
Yep.
well, for me, it kind of became easy. So
Yeah. It's like
yeah,
running a race. You see the finish line, and
yeah,
you've got to have a finish line to start again.
yeah.
What did you find difficult, if anything at all? What was the most difficult thing?
I mean, I've kind of been thinking about this lately, and it hasn't been much. The biggest thing, I guess, is when I'm out or if I'm with other people, or going to restaurants or even nightclubs. They don't tend to be very water orientated.
No.
But yeah, I think the hardest thing is actually wanting to make sure that I am in check and I am so strict with it all. But when it comes down to being out and around social situations, that can be really quite difficult.
Yeah.
But I've become very comfortable about taking everything I need to wherever I go.
Awesome.
So
Well done. Well done. Same here. There's got to be a lot to said about, socializing in a world where people really don't look after themselves and, going to restaurants where you can find, really good food. Or if you say no to chips or no to a roll or no to some alcohol, people kind of
yeah, people don't tend to take it very well, or they think there's something strange or wrong with you. It's like, well, no, I think it's the other way around, really. But that's my opinion. But
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been really quiet. Like, and even my close friends, they know now of where I'm at and what I'm doing. So they tend to have
Is
kind of jumped on board with it too. So
is there someone that you didn't see for a very long time, or people have seen you out that they haven't seen you for a while, and what has that been their reaction?
oh yeah, no, absolutely. Even some of my clients that I work with as a support worker, there was a particular gentleman that hadn't seen me for a few months, and he was shocked when he seen me
Mm,
for the first time after that. And even people that I haven't seen within the last year or even 6 months,
yeah.
they're really quite surprised. I mean, most of them do follow me on the internet, obviously, but when they see you in person, and even one of my best mates, like a couple of weeks ago, she was like, "Oh my gosh, your legs have slimmed down so much." And they're all seeing that difference, which is an awesome feeling. It really is. Yeah, it's nice, and even after a couple of weeks people are noticing at certain stages, so yeah,
It feels really good, doesn't it?
it does, absolutely, and it rubs off on people at the
It
same
does.
time too, and it kind of and I think people are saying that I am looking a lot happier and brighter, and I
Mhm.
think that's one of the most best compliments people can give to you.
That's correct. And
Yeah,
we started at the beginning, when we said to you, and I say this to a lot of people, if you're looking for somebody or something in particular, you have to be that person yourself to reflect
absolutely.
what you want back. And also,
Yeah,
I find most people will find drugs, alcohol, food,
yeah.
tattoos, piercings. Oh, let's get some more piercings. Let's color my hair really, really bright pink because they want attention. But how good does it feel when people just walk up to you and say, "You look amazing"?
Oh, it's such an amazing feeling. And I think the cleaner you get your lifestyle, the more brighter and the better mentally that you are in the first place. Like I have been a comforter eater in the past, we've gone to things in the past, but the more cleaner my lifestyle has got over the years, it's it makes you see all the little things in life that you enjoy.
Mhm,
I think it makes you really look at things in different ways rather than going to an object or something
mhm.
to cater for that.
That's correct. And guys, I've always said it, and there's lots of funny memes about it. We're basically plants. We need
I
water,
like that.
we need sunlight,
Yeah,
we need nutrition, we need people to care. And this is what we are as humans. And we notice the difference between mental health when we get clean and when we eat
massively.
properly and when we get proper sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hugely. Absolutely. And I think when you do put all of the good things together, it does make your sleep and also those feelings that much more.
Mm, mm. I think that's a what problem with a lot of people. And you sent me quite a few text messages with check-ins. We checked in every week. I remember the fun ones where, you said you had your clients out walking with you and you're getting them all excited and, you're getting them out in the sunshine and,
Yeah.
talking to them about nutrition. How was that? Was that
Oh no, it's awesome, and it's still rubbing off now, which is good. I was called a machine last week for finishing off a liter bottle of water, and I'm like, I'm only halfway through my day. But yeah, it's really rubbing off on them and making them then think about their nutrition plans. One of my clients in particular has joined the gym since this, and
Awesome.
as my guidance at the same time. I might only see them every
Awesome.
2 weeks, but
Yes.
it's awesome to see their their way of kind of following a little bit of my inspiration at the same time. So
That's awesome
and
because
and as a
I,
support worker, these people unfortunately are at a unfortunate situations to be in their position. So
yeah,
to be able to rub off on them, it's just it's the best feeling.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to ask you to give the next challenges a reason why. I mean, if they haven't already been talked into it by now, give them some advice and a little bit of encouragement of why they should join the challenge.
That's a good one actually.
Mm.
I think just for your all over health, you need to put into yourself, and I think that's where we really lack.
Mhm.
So if you can put that in even just a tiny bit every day, you will get such a benefit out of it. And Joy has so much wisdom and knowledge. Like, use it, be a sponge.
Mm.
Because if you can listen and you can gain what she's giving us, you will succeed.
Thank you. That's awesome. Do you miss your check-ins already?
I do, yes. I mean, and I have messaged you on a Saturday, I
But you
think.
know what?
Last
You
Saturday.
can still message me on a Saturday. I still
I
have clients
appreciate
that
that.
do
Thank
so.
you.
So
But yeah, being that we're a couple of weeks out, it does feel I'm feeling a little bit lost.
yeah,
But not in a bad way.
yeah,
It's like I said, it's a transition stage. So,
yeah.
but also to look back on the past year and know that, I've done that every week. I've done
Mm,
that every day. I've done that. I've put in some hard yards to get where I'm going now.
yeah,
Hard yards that have felt easy though. Once
yeah.
and with your support as well, like you guys are in the best hands. So
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. So let's talk about the accountability challenge, guys. A lot of people assume that, they're going to join this challenge and we're going to do all the work for you. You're not going to put in the hard work. I think the whole challenge is about accountability, someone to check in with, someone to give you advice, someone to hold your hand a little bit, but you have to do the work. You have to want to do the work to get to the last result. Yeah.
absolutely. But I think
Yeah.
having that accountability check-in as well does give you that edge and
Mhm.
give you that push to know that, my Saturday Joe's going to be calling. And if you can't, or even if you can't, if it's been a bad week, be honest with it.
That's correct.
But be accountable, because I think being accountable for yourself, once you do start that regular accountability, it comes natural. Like on a Saturday morning, I wake up now and I'm like, I still go in and check in with myself.
Mhm.
And it's important to do that, but having someone to hold your hand has been really quite an amazing guidance. Yeah.
Awesome. Well done. Well, I really look forward to the next 12 months of your check-ins and where you're headed with this. Joining gyms, hanging out with fit people and all that sort of stuff that comes with it. I've been on this journey, man, and it's so good to watch someone else go through it. So congratulations again. It was
Oh,
a
thank you.
massive, massive effort.
No,
And health and well-being is the only asset people should have in this day and age.
absolutely. I totally agree. And thank you for all your support and all your help. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth jumping on the challenge. Yeah, it's been a life changer.
Mhm. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Krista, and I look forward to catching up with you again, maybe in another 6 months.
Maybe. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Awesome.